I'd guess that billions of words have been written about healthcare fraud committed by physicians, other healthcare providers, and even payers. Far fewer have been written about fraud committed against healthcare providers. But it's far more common than you likely know. That is, until $1 million or more are missing from your practice's bank account. Paging Dr. Lucchese. The allegations against Michael Lucchese, MD, a well-known New York City physician, serve to illustrate the point. Dr. Lucchese previously served as chairman of emergency medicine at SUNY Downstate Medical Center, as the acting head of the hospital itself and of its related medical school, SUNY Downstate College of Medicine, and as the hospital's CMO. Despite the sterling CV, Dr. Lucchese was arraigned in July 2024 on a 9-count indictment in which he's charged under New York law with first and second degree grand larceny, first degree falsifying business records, and third degree criminal tax fraud. According to the district attorney prosecuting Dr. Lucchese, he made personal purchases using a business credit card meant to be used solely for business purposes by members of SUNY Downstate's clinical practice, University Physicians of Brooklyn. The DA alleges that the illegal spending totaled approximately $1.448 million and included cash advances of approximately $115,000, pet care totaling $176,000, $120,000 paid to the Greenleaf Pet Resort and Hotel, $348,000 spent on personal travel, $109,000 in payments to the New York Sports Club for membership and personal training, $52,000 in catering, $46,000 in tuition payments for his children, and assorted payments for online shopping, flowers, liquors, electronics, and other items. Now, whether or not Dr. Lucchese committed a crime is yet to be determined, and allegations are simply that. He's presumed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But there are some lessons of Lucchese for you. Although the alleged theft of funds was discovered pursuant to an audit, the subject credit card charges were incurred over the course of more than 7 years, from December 1, 2016 to January 13, 2023. Perhaps the sloth in discovery is not too late for prosecution, but it's about 6 years too late in terms of good business practices. You, on the other hand, need to be far more diligent. In terms of medical practices, that means having procedures for and regular auditing of both internal and outsourced business processes. Internal fraud prevention procedures consists of policies such as the following: a formal recognition that fraud can take place at all levels within an organization, from physician and executive leadership to that of rank and file employees. Preventive actions such as the adoption of the correct policies and procedures, as well as audit processes, can't operate on the assumption that someone making $350,000 a year might not help herself to another $15,000 or $50,000 or $1.5 million. Financial losses aren't limited to those working in the practice's financial operations. For example, the theft of supplies, the creation of phony invoices, the diversion of payments aren't limited to those engaged in a practice's accounting function. Billing functions and receipt of payment functions should be separated such that the same personnel are not involved. So too must those processing invoices submitted by vendors be removed from those paying outside vendors. Expense reimbursement should require the submission of receipts. Someone other than the person claiming reimbursement should be checking the receipts and verifying the business purpose for the charges. The use of company credit cards should be monitored very carefully, and in some cases, cards should be controlled via instructions to the credit card company to permit charges within only certain categories. Others are rejected. Credit card fraud is one of the most prevalent forms of intercompany theft. For medical groups using outsourced business service providers such as MSOs and billing and collection or RCM vendors, make certain to address their internal fraud prevention practices and internal audits. Also, as to both internal and outsourced business operations, conduct periodic audits yourself. And investigations, these should be coordinated through legal counsel and counsel-engaged auditors. It's a no-brainer that you can be more effective at finding and correcting potential fraud than SUNY Upstate. As opposed to the healthcare-specific types of fraud perpetrated by healthcare providers against payers, including against government programs, think False Claims Act type fraud, fake billings, and the like, internal and external service provider fraud against healthcare providers is generally of the same sort, affecting industry in general. According to data provided by the Trade Organization for Business Fraud Examiners, the longer a fraudster has been employed by a business, the more trusted he or she is, the greater the amount of the median loss. For example, the median loss for a fraudster employed for from 1 to 5 years is around $100,000, while a fraudster employed for 10 or more years is likely to lead to a median loss of $250,000. When you're ready, let's talk about internal and external fraud protection and the coordination of investigations and audits to protect your medical practice and to protect your own personal financial best interest. After all, what's not in your wallet? Do you have any idea?